There are lots of ways employees, volunteers, and customers sometimes game the system at thrift stores. Here are a few of them that I have seen in my decade in not-for-profit thrift retail management. Yes, employees have a way of getting first dibs on a lot of great items. I have worked with thrift operators all over the US. No matter the official policy and how hard management works to enforce it, employees find ways to get stuff they want. People that work and shop thrift tend to be naturally attracted to unusual items, antiques, and collectibles. For employees and volunteers, there can be a temptation when something particularly interesting shows up. The trick for them is how to make sure they minimize the risk of a customer getting the item. I have seen sneaky to outright illegal things people have tried. Stocking stuff in the wrong place is likely the most common. It's as simple as it sounds. For example, if someone wants a pair of size 12 jeans and for whatever reason can't get them right away, they just put them in a different section, or with different sizes. Employees and volunteers sometimes do it when they are stocking the floor and run across something they want. Customers use it as a way to save things to pick up later. It's one of the reasons it's hard to keep a thrift store organized. A riskier version is putting stuff in a stash spot. Late one evening, before a big sale at one of my stores, I saw this guy fill a cart with clothes. It was piled high. He hid everything inside a cabinet in the furniture department. He was so involved in his project, he didn't notice me watching. I didn't interrupt him. After the store closed, I put everything back where they belonged. Sure enough, he was there when the store opened. He went right to the cabinet and didn't find his stash. I heard a few expletives as he went to find everything again, along with the crowds that didn't cheat. He wasn't exactly stealing, but well, you be the judge. Less than honest employees tend to have their own stash spots, sometimes on the sales floor, under the cash register, or some corner of the warehouse. Just like traditional retail, the percentage of cheaters is small, but they are there. Next are prices that work in the back of stores. They have tremendous power over how much a store charges for an item. Underpricing something for their own benefit can be tempting. If they do, how do they take advantage of it? There are a few ways. Calling a friend. One of the slickest ways production employees beat the system is to underprice items, then text a friend to stop in and buy that stuff as soon as the cart goes to the sales floor. There is a retail term that's called sweethearting. It's when a cashier either under-rings items or doesn't ring everything up. It shows up in several forms. Regular customers that befriend cashiers so well that they get an unofficial friends and family discount. Same with co-workers. Some employees take it upon themselves to reward volunteers in this way. The most extreme case I ever ran across was a professional reseller that was paying a cashier $100 a week under the table to give him special prices. He was also buying things she wanted and giving them to her. Since most thrift stores don't have the sophisticated technology typical of major retailers, this can be hard to catch. It eventually shows up in cashier reports and on video. To me, it's one of the most important reasons thrift stores should have CCTV systems. Then there are versions of outright theft. No matter what they say, thrift stores generate a lot of trash. It's pretty simple to put good stuff in a trash bag, haul it to the dumpster with the real trash, then retrieve it later. In and around dumpsters, I have found bags of designer clothing, purses, carefully wrapped glassware, you name it. It's always a mystery as to how they accidentally got there. Putting things outside by fire doors is much like the dumpster ploy. For some reason, it tends to be specific items rather than batches of stuff. Like it sounds, it's putting stuff right outside a fire door. Of course, the alarm has to be turned off, which is another level of coordination. My favorite catch was a vintage Harley-Davidson leather jacket, conveniently lying just outside of a fire door that wasn't visible from the street or parking lot. No one could explain how the alarm was turned off or how something like that could ever happen. Since management controls those kinds of keys, this type of thing is extra concerning. Palming and pocketing stuff is common with jewelry and other small valuable items. It's hard to catch and can be harder to prove, but not impossible. In one case, we became suspicious that an employee was stealing jewelry. She had a habit of wearing different jewelry all the time, and lots of it. It just wasn't adding up. That store's high-ticket jewelry sales were also low compared to other stores. The person in question sorted raw donations, which included putting jewelry in a locked cabinet. Long story short, using cameras, we found she would quickly sort through raw batches of jewelry. She would pocket things so fast, it was hard to spot even with multiple camera angles. She would do it working right next to other staff. Watching her on video, it became obvious she had been doing this a long time and had a well-developed system. We identified the pawn shop she was selling to and eventually got a confession from this 10-year trusted and respected employee. She had stolen thousands and thousands of dollars of merchandise. Her husband worked there too, in the donation acceptance area. No telling what else went on, we never uncovered. He chose to quit when his wife was caught. When you are shopping at your local thrift store, you might just see some odd things that now make sense. Especially stuff out of place. One last example. I was watching one of those thrift haul videos on YouTube recently, just like you, and this guy showed a pair of expensive designer women's shoes he found on the top shelf of the men's shoe department. It was obviously a high-end pair that wasn't even priced higher. He assumed it was misplaced. I am sure it was stashed for someone to pick up later. I am glad he got it. I think he made over $100 profit on it. Money he kept from a cheater. Thrift employees, volunteers, and customers are neither more or less honest than the people anywhere else. I do think some take advantage of the compassionate tendencies of not-for-profit thrift. The "they got it for free" attitude is the most common excuse I have heard when confronting a thief or cheater. Well, the employees get paid, the building costs money, utilities, insurance, and all the other costs of running a business are not free. That's just an excuse to justify bad behavior. I am HO.